Hey, good evening. Good evening, everyone. I first want to apologize for not starting at 8 o'clock like I promised a lot of people. Tonight we're going to be talking about Mars and Venus on a date. We're going to talk about the 5 stages of the book, Mars and Venus on a Date. A guide for navigating the 5 stages into creating a loving and lasting relationship.
Put it in front of you. Thank you. That's it.
We're just still getting organized. I apologize. First, I'd like to introduce everyone, or have everybody introduce themselves. My name is Cheryl, but I'm also known as Unique Inspiration. And DT, what do you call me?
As Mother Nature.
He calls me Mother Nature.
Why? Why?
Why do you call me Mother Nature?
She's... Yes. Her name is Mother Nature. If you guys ever meet her, spend some time with her. Her love is beyond. The only way I call her Mother Nature because she goes out of her way to take care of people. She goes out of her way to take care of her friends. So that's why I call her Mother Nature. She's always nurturing people. Okay? And I could not call her any other name. I could not find a better name to call her. Mother Nature.
Well, that's a compliment I didn't expect, so I'll take that. Thank you so much. Before we get into the details of everything, we are going to go around the table to be able to introduce everyone. I want to be able to do that. If you can start on the right here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Heidi. I'm a life coach and psychologist.
Hello everyone, my name is the Love Doctor and I'm also a realtor.
He's a love He's a love doctor.
We need some fixing, do we?
Miss Caliente. Miss Caliente.
My name is Love Doctor.
Are you double love doctor?
No, it surprised me that word is my name is Love Doctor.
Are you the love patient?
I said, wow. Well, my name is Evangelist Yolanda Blanford.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm glad everyone's here tonight because we do need to talk about this subject. We've been talking about how men and women communicate for a couple weeks now, and that can be a challenge at times. So what I'd like to do is just kind of give you a reason why. What are the differences between men and women, and why do we need to maybe take a look at this? Gender insight helps us to be more tolerant and forgiving when somebody doesn't respond the way we think we should. Once we learn maybe to have compassion for the other gender, we live in a world with that, can be abrasive. And I think that if we learn to understand how the other gender works, or their minds, how they think, we may have more compassion and respect for each other. Mm-hmm. With the new insight, you have added wisdom and power to change your approach to a situation rather than seeking to change a partner. I think that, certainly when I was dating, I thought my job was to fix the other person, and that's just not the way it is. So no wonder I probably had some challenges when I was younger. I thought everybody was supposed to think like me. So now I do understand, through life experience as well as reading books and just having good relationships with other people, is that we have to learn to respect each other. Using these insights will assist us to respect your partner in ways that's important to them, and will help you understand how the opposite gender thinks. Learning what a healthy relationship is will assist overcoming more challenging problems. As we know in life, communication is huge. Communication is the number one thing, the number one breakdown in most relationships. And if we can just be quiet sometimes and listen to the other side, it's hard to keep your mouth shut at times. It's hard to really listen to another person in hopes that they're also going to listen to you, because you can't just listen and not be heard either. We're also going to learn and understand that men and women are supposed to be different. I mean, in my mind, I didn't have brothers growing up. So for me, it was all about the girls. And so for me, you know, learning about how men think and how they operate, it's all good. That it's fine how they think, it's fine how we think. It's just that it's learning to understand each other, that we need to come together on a little bit more in our relationships. So not only our styles of communicating are different, but our brains, our hormones, our stress reactions, nutritional requirements, and exercise requirements are different. So hopefully after this discussion, I'm hoping that we'll all say men shouldn't be, we shouldn't be saying men shouldn't be that way, or women shouldn't react a certain way, because we're just human beings trying to get along, have good relationships. When we expect our partners to be more like us, we're automatically giving them the message they're not good enough. And I don't think that that's what people really want to do. I think that that's just what we do sometimes when we try to change another person. We really don't think about how that other person's feeling. Before reviewing the actual 5 stages of a dating relationship, and I first want to say, I'm in this process myself. I was married for 35 years and I'm now a widow. So I'm reading books on the stages of dating, because when I was younger, I didn't do something like this. And so I'm thinking through things more and becoming more aware of, you know, my own personal goals, what I'm looking for. And I find it a very interesting subject. So I am not the specialist. I am not the expert at dating. I'll tell you that. I have lots to learn.
Are you dating now, though?
Well, I'm trying to.
Okay, you're working on
I'm
it.
putting myself out there to do that. Yes. So I know that Dr. Love has something to say about dating. I've got this feeling that he's done some dating, and I can't wait to hear some of his comments. Some of the things that women ask, I'm just going to throw it out there, and I want to remind everybody to please call in tonight. We're really looking forward to your input and what you think about some of the things that we're talking about. You can call in at 561-660-7653. We welcome your phone calls at any time that we're sharing information. We're also at the website at www.usdiscoverytalentradio.com. And the Facebook page I'm not as familiar with. Does anyone else want to quote that one? No? Okay.
Yeah, just US Discovery Talent Radio.
US Discovery Talent Radio on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yes. Okay. So some of the questions that women ask are these. Why don't you start with this? You can read a few of those.
What is the question woman asks?
Yeah. Here you go.
Or I could pick anyone. Yeah?
Oh yeah, any of them. These are typical questions that women ask in trying to find the right relationship.
How do you get a man to open up?
Very good.
Dr. Love?
Dr. Love, would you like to say? Have any comments?
Right?
Yeah.
That's a good question for a
know.
man. There you go.
Okay, so the question is, how do you get a man to open up?
Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, I will say this. I'm not, what's that guy's name? Dr. Phil, Mr. Other Problems. I have dated quite a bit, and I have knowledge and experience from relationships. To get a man to open up, I would say maybe, find what catches his interest. If you find, because not every man's the same, vice versa for a woman, but catch his interest and start off with small things that interest him. And then when you start off with small things that interest him, be receptive about it. Don't be too aggressive, but show liking in him. And then when you do that, he will slowly start to open up, because when you show interest in him and then you show some liking, he takes it, depending on the man, he takes it as you being genuine. And when you're genuine, it's very important, because not all women come off that way, and some women, I guess, don't know how to open up. Some women can't communicate, and this is for women and men. Okay, so so neither one of us are perfect. So that's something that's very, very important, and hopefully that man that's taking in the information, he's not blind by that, because some men that have or that talk to certain women, they're used to certain things, and be mindful of that as well. So that's my answer.
Well, we appreciate that input coming from a man.
You're welcome.
And would Dr. DT over there like to comment?
Yeah, he loved that.
If you're a man.
The question was, how do you get a man to open up?
Easy.
Easy? Okay.
Get involved.
That's a good one.
Find his interest.
That's what he just said.
Find what tickle his heart.
There you go.
Be generous, and also try to be his friend. I mean, if you want to get close to me, you have to get involved what I love. If I'm someone who like poetry, okay? If you don't like poetry, it's fine. Let me know. Don't act like you like it. And also try to trick me.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Don't trick that. I love waking up in the middle of the night, take a long walk on the beach. You know what I mean?
In the middle of the night?
Yes. You okay? I mean, when I was single, you will find me 3 o'clock in the morning on the beach. I got my flashlight. It's the best time for me to write my best work, my best piece of art. You know, poetry. You're looking at when I sit down, the ocean speak back to me. You know, the ladies in red always dance on top of the wave. You know what I mean? So if you're a female, you want to be my friend, don't come after me immediately. Be my friend. Get involved, because I'm very attractive with smart women, intelligent. You know, I'm extremely hungry for knowledge. You know what I mean? Knowledge tickle my heart. That's it. It's not hard. Be yourself. Me, I'm a straight shooter. What you see is what you get. You know what I mean? I know if I try to be fake, you'll catch me. So therefore, if I find you, I'll be your friend, and let nature take its course. So I don't know.
No, I'm so thrilled that we're having an honest conversation about this,
Simple
because
as that.
men and women need to hear this.
So
I mean, we're all human beings looking for the same thing. We sometimes are looking for it a little differently. Maybe we react to things differently, but I think for a woman, they're also looking for the same thing. You said interest. They're looking for interest in them and how that, they may, how they may come across to you, if I love to go dancing, I need to communicate that with somebody that I'm dating.
That's it.
And to have fun. If that person doesn't like to go dancing, then maybe that's going to crop up in the relationship somewhere, as Claude said, or DT said, that, if you don't like poems, don't lead me down this road. Let's just be honest and be real. And it's fine. That may not be the high priority for the person that, wants to be with me anyway. Dancing may be just just one of those things that we do once in a while. It may not be doing something we have to do all the time.
The
So
sad part
being
is when the
honest is
person,
really important.
the person tell you, I love dancing, I love to do this. After you get to know, they become a couch potato.
Yeah. Or somehow the knees give out. I
That's
heard
it.
that. That's what I hear in my marriage. Oh, my knees, my knees.
Arthritis.
Yes, it sets in somehow, some way.
As soon as they get married, that
Yeah.
is. Once they're dating, oh yeah.
Well, that's why we're going to talk about the 5 stages, because really, the 5 stages lead up to marriage.
Yes.
And I mean, it's important to talk about each stage, even though we're not mentally, maybe even aware of it, what we're doing and how we're doing it. I'd like you to pick another question for the men to see right down here. What other question would you like to throw out that
Oh, this
women
is a good
typically ask?
Why do men talk so much about themselves?
All right.
That's a good one.
Their tank is empty.
Okay.
To me, I guess men want to, and after I'm done, I guess the host can chime in. I guess men want to be heard. They want to be known. They want to feel importance, relevancy. For me, I guess I kind of do it when I'm in conversation with somebody else. Typically, when I'm in conversation with somebody else, it's really who I am, what do I do, and what I'm about, and basically going from there. And I typically go in a little deeper based on where the conversation is going and what the dialogue is currently at the moment. That's what I have. Maybe the host can elaborate some more.
Okay,
Why do men talk about themselves a lot?
that's why I say okay.
He doesn't really want to talk about this.
See, I'm a man with
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? I know. I would say, why do women talk so much?
Well, let's not turn this around. Let's
Why
just
do
keep
women?
it to the
I know.
question that we
Why
asked
do women
you.
talk so much?
Because we want to know the answer from you
That's a good one.
first.
That's a good one.
Because men do talk a lot too. Believe me, they'll put you to sleep sometimes.
Me, I don't know. I talk a lot when it's come to business because I like to take something that is complex, break it down for even a child to understand it. You know what I mean? Some people might say I talk a lot because the way I want to make sure, because knowledge is power, I want to make sure if I convey an idea to you, you do understand it. And when it's come to me, I'm the type A.
All right, we're telling ourselves.
We now know.
No, I'm the type A person. I do my research. You know what I mean? I do my research. And when you say something, you don't have to give me a long explanation because I'm kind of, if what you're saying is not tickle my mind, I get bored easily. Okay?
This
what
is
I'm
important
saying,
for us to listen to.
okay? If what you're saying is not tickling my mind, I mean, I believe that you don't open your mouth just to talk. Whatever you convey, you have to make sure whatever message that you pass along, you're sharing, the person who's doing the listening has to get something positive out of it. My frustration, if, for example, when I try to share or convey myself, I do speak my mind in a respectful way. I believe that whenever you have a conversation with someone, the person you're supposed, at the end of the conversation, you're supposed to make the person feels good. So you don't steal their energy. Because some people, when I meet certain people, if your love tank is empty, I'll be gladly offer you my energy. Some people do understand that. Some people, they know when they're having a conversation with you. Do you realize that sometimes you have a conversation with someone, at the end you feel weak?
That's it.
Drain you out.
That's mean. The person may not understand that. The person steal your energy. And at the same time, sometimes you have a conversation, someone say, wow, I feel good, I'm pumped up. That person voluntarily share the energy with you. So I believe that in most relationship, one of the reasons
So
that
the man is talking a lot.
that's what comes. That's what I'm saying. Knowledge is power. That's what I say. Knowledge is power.
One question.
That's it. I just say that. Remember? I just said.
We didn't confirm the question that we wanted to
There you
answer.
go.
Oh, I love you. I just love you. And I'm sure we'll do the same when it's our turn.
That's it. So in other
I
words,
just have one thing to say. I just have one thing to say to both of you gentlemen.
Yes.
And that is, for women, they don't care what you know as much as they want to know what you care about in them.
bingo.
Okay?
Bingo.
That's all I want to say. Let me keep that
Yes,
simple.
that's correct.
Really what a woman's looking for.
Okay,
It's
but
your
no-
interest in them. But it's not that we don't want to hear you.
Mhm.
What it is that we don't want to hear about your work necessarily, because that isn't what's going to be the glue between a woman's looking
Guess
for
what?
emotion.
Guess what?
What?
I set you guys up for that.
Okay, I just wanted you to know.
No. I set you guys up that because one of the reasons you guys, ladies,
Yes.
when it's come to men, you always say men talk too much. When men talk, they want you to make sure you understand.
Yes.
When
question
women
wasn't
talking,
that.
no, I understand that. When
question
women
was-
talking, when women talking, you say, "Okay, baby, it's enough." What do you mean it's enough? You're going to stand there, wait until I'm done.
The question was, why do men talk so much about themselves?
Oh no.
Not
Yes.
that they talk too much.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay.
why do they talk
Themselves.
about themselves? It's a common complaint that
So-
women, when they go on a date, I'm
Okay.
just making you
Now you
aware.
make clear
It's a
in a
common
date.
For
In a
the
date.
On a date.
Yeah.
Most
On a date.
men,
But they-
no, let me
yes.
answer. No, in a date, the men you see that go in a date talk a lot about themselves.
Nerves.
They're nervous
Okay.
and they're insecure.
Okay. So
Period.
what could a woman say to a man that's going on and on about themselves? What would be an appropriate response to something like that when you want to get to know somebody?
Oh, that's very. I said that's very nice. Thank you, but this is not an interview.
I get that sometimes.
Do you
Yeah, that's
really?
sometimes.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, for me, I'm naturally who I am
Yes.
because I'm at a different place in my life where I'm focused. I know what I want, and it's how I sound. But I don't sound that way all the time. I have a serious side, and I have a part where I can speak to certain people differently, and I'm not a rigid person. People say, "Hey, you know what? This sounds like an interview." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry," because
It's not really where you want it to be.
Well-
it's not what you want it to come across as.
right. But I am who I am. However, it just goes to show who you're talking to, And the thing is, when it comes to that, a date, you have to establish a connection.
Right.
You have to. You have to establish a
Well,
connection.
common ground is okay. There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with that.
It has to be that way. Reason why I say that is because once you find that, then the conversation can flow naturally. It's not, I'm talking about myself, and then you say a little bit, then I'm talking about about myself again. It's once we establish a common ground, it's okay. You know what? I do that too. Okay, for how long? And then it bounces back to you.
Right.
It's a naturally flowing conversation between two individuals,
Right.
back and forth dialogue.
And that's in the perfect world, but in the real world,
That's how
what
it should
really
be.
happens, I'm just letting you know.
Right?
This is a common complaint that women have when they go on a date,
Mm-hmm.
and they go, "Really? Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
How can I mean, I want to hear.
Mhm.
I want to hear about you,
Mhm.
but what I really want to know
Mhm.
is who are you as a person?
Mm.
And, are you going to be a workaholic? Are you going to be the type of person that's always away from me? I mean, women are looking for, it's the unspoken things that
Balance.
Yeah, we're looking for balance. That's all. It's not that it's right or wrong. And I understand for a man, being successful is huge. It's like probably 80% of your life that, you're driven in a different way that we are.
Well,
So it's common. I understand
uh-huh.
why it happens. But I guess I'm just asking you to think about it when you go on a date, is what a woman is looking for is not that they don't want to know about you and what you do for work, but they don't want to talk about work all night long.
Amen.
That's
Okay.
all. That's all.
Here's,
So, sorry.
oh, okay. Here's my thing with that. This is what I do. Whenever you have a partner or a potential partner that has those qualities that you're looking for, I would filter them first and foremost. It's like you're interviewing a employee. I would filter them. Reason being,
You are looking at it from that perspective. Did I
Yeah.
understand that correctly?
yes.
So you're looking at it as, like,
But
if I'm
I-
dating you,
Mhm.
you're looking at me like I'm a potential employee?
No.
Oh, I just wanted to
I didn't say
clarify that. I just
I
wanted to
didn't
make
say
sure
that.
I understood
No, I
that.
didn't say that.
See what I mean?
Oh.
No, I didn't say
The
that.
only-
I did
the
not
only-
hear that.
the only-
See that?
They
Did you
only
hear
do
the
what they
same thing
want
I
to
heard?
hear. You know
There's
what I mean?
three women.
Yeah. So I have to come to your restaurant. I have to come to your
I'm
restaurant.
good. I'm still on the side.
See, I apologize.
But it's
I
fine.
heard that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
hear
man,
that.
no.
She heard that too. Did you
That's
hear that
good.
or not?
My
Yeah, we hear that too.
Okay.
I'm glad that you ladies are listening.
Okay.
You
I'm
know, there's
trying
a
very
big
hard.
He was just checking.
There's
Okay.
a big difference. The reason why I say that is because more often than not, you get women that talk to men that aren't ready or not where they're supposed to be at in life.
Sure.
They're not stable. They don't know where they want to go.
And that's both sides.
Right.
Happens.
Uncertainty. Let's see what else. Uncertainty, unstable. They're not ready for a committed relationship. Now, that's what a lot of women that I speak to they run into. Now, when it comes to the filtration process, the reason why I say that specifically and heavily is because so you know who you're talking to before you even meet them, because time is something that you can't buy back. You can't get it tomorrow. You can't recycle it. And it's true. Whether you want to believe me or not, it's true. When it comes to you filtering somebody, it's important because you know who they are. You know how old they are, what they're trying to do, where they're from, and so on. Once you get a level of comfort, then you can then set up a place where you can meet. Maybe have some coffee
Oh,
or a bite or what
absolutely.
have you. Because once you get past that phase, then you're comfortable with who you're going to meet. And then once you see them, then chemistry should be established. Once you pass that stage, then you can break the ice because you want comfort. Then the dialogue can happen. Once that happens, you continue to talk and see if this person really is who they are, because you want to match what they said and what they're doing with what they're going to do. If those two don't add up, then you have to kick rocks and keep moving forward.
But what happened to my misunderstanding? What were you trying to say that I misunderstood?
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to
The
get
same way you look at a employee, it's that thought process, because when you come to talking to somebody and you're trying to get into a relationship, you filtering them, you're trying to see if they're right for you,
They're gonna
as if they're
last.
right for the job. just like a
Right for the job. We keep going back to the
Well,
job.
it's-
That really
it's
bothers
important.
me.
It's important because if you're a boss or a supervisor,
I guess I'd be out the door real quick if I had a date with
well,
you. I have to tell
would
you.
you want someone that you're not attracted to?
No, I totally agree with you
Right.
there. But where I disagree is
Mhm.
if you're interviewing me like I'm a potential job candidate,
Mhm.
how is it that I'm going to really relax with you? I mean, really. How am I going to really be myself? When I go for a job interview, are you really yourself 100%?
No, job interview is different, but the tone has to match too when talking to the person over the phone because it has to flow smoothly. Is what I'm saying. You're not interviewing your potential mate. You are, but you're not. But the tone has to be different. That's what I'm saying. You're going in with the same mind frame but different tone. You can't interview your partner per se. You're talking to them as if you are, but you're not doing that.
So let me just play the devil's advocate here. Let me just ask you, like, what kind of questions are you asking? Because maybe it's not what I'm thinking it is. Maybe,
It's not.
Maybe you
It's
can.
not.
All right, I'm on a date with you.
Right.
What would you like to know about me?
Um,
What kind of question?
whatever
would
you're
you,
comfortable with.
What are your question?
know,
what kind of a question might you ask me as a man and want to get to know me as a person?
Right. Probably your age.
Oh gosh!
No.
Oh boy! Wait a minute! This guy's
Come on,
single for
Dr.
a
Love.
reason, I think.
No, I'm not single. I'm not single. It's-
Okay.
when it comes to age for women, to me, it's almost like something that you should
You're
never.
insulting them by asking them that.
I don't think it's insult
Yes.
because
Oh, yes.
women, no. Women,
yes.
women look at it a certain way. That's why I say that. It's almost like if I ask a certain woman, or particular woman, hey, how old are you? Then they kind of, shy away and don't answer the question.
Yeah, but
Not
You
saying that
get
you're
beat
old.
up.
Not saying you're old. It's how you take it. It's
that's
the
a very
mid- that's-
sensitive issue for most women.
I know, and I wonder why the issue is sensitive.
Why is it even important if you're sitting and having a good conversation? Why is age even an issue?
It could.
Now, if there's 20 years, but you're going to know it. If there's a 20-year
I know.
discrepancy. But if we're talking 3 to 5 years, I mean, when you're on a first date, is that really important?
Maybe for
No,
him it
it's-
is.
well,
Maybe for him it is.
for both, but sometimes you can ask it in the middle or later on. But it's something when it comes to age for some women, it's almost like a thing that you never ask. And what I've come to find out, it's as if if you ask them that, you can't, and maybe I guess they're going to be under the assumption that you're telling them that they're old when really you're not saying that to them. If you ask a woman, how much do you weigh? It's like, okay, you're saying that I'm fat, but I didn't say that to you. It's how you're taking it. Because some women aren't, every woman's not like that.
But I think that there are questions you ask a woman when you first know her, and then there's questions you
Right.
don't ask her.
Right.
Seriously, I mean, if we're into the relationship, that's one thing. But if you're just meeting somebody, I don't think
You know
those
what,
appropriate
well-
questions.
As for an example, you wouldn't outwardly, boldly ask her that question. Okay, how old are you?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that's what I was trying to get at. Are we in
Oh,
a
of
job
course, of
interview
course.
to get
No,
to,
no,
like,
no.
that's
It's not
all
even
I was
that.
trying to get at.
It's not even that.
We don't even have to go any further because I know that, I know the insincerity. You're just throwing things out at me and I'm playing the devil's advocate with
That's
you, to be
fine.
honest with you.
I'm in the hot seat
But-
and it's
but-
nice and warm.
But, these are real issues that
Yeah.
we might as well talk about
Yeah.
because this
Yeah.
is the stuff that
Comes up.
upsets
Yeah.
people, women.
Right?
And so you're gonna have your challenge to us next.
My
I'll do my
question
best
is,
to answer the
I
question.
know.
my question is, Dr. Love, and if you go out there and you meet someone right away, it's not like you're gonna go out with them, and you just meet them and start talking, and then you have that kind of nice conversation right away in them, and say, hey, you have time to have a coffee or a tea or something, because you have that chemical right
Right.
away. I don't put my mind on the age or then 24, 25, 26 because it's just you're meeting somebody to talk to with. Because sometimes young kids want to talk to adult person, and then when you start communicating, oh my God, it's very interesting communication for a young man. It's not like you're going to go out or date with
No.
him. It's just to laugh sometime. Because not all the time you're looking for date somebody everywhere you turn. I think we just want to meet somebody to love.
That's it.
You understand? To
Get
have a
connected to.
conversation, to drink a coffee, because sometimes young kids could show you a lot more than an older man.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, they do.
Oh, I believe
They
it.
make you laugh, they make you excited, they make everything. But some of the older men then bring them pepper inside a relationship. So boring. Because it's like how you say talk about themselves. I never meet you to talk about yourself.
Right.
I just ask you, hi, how are you today? Oh, fine. Oh, my wife just died. You just leave. I never asked you that. You understand? I asking you a question, you know, have
are
a
you?
conversation, you know. But I believe, doesn't matter what kind of age, everybody have someone out there to meet. You understand? And I believe so. God created everybody your age and older. Now you see a lot of older men marrying young women because they find something ticey about them. And they find young men married an older woman. Because I meet this young man, he's 45, and he told me that he wouldn't go out with no young woman of his age. He preferred go without a woman for 60 years old because they understand more. They know how to have that conversation with them. Because he said the young lady out there, they don't have a mind to think. They just want to have fun, and he don't want to have fun. He just want to go have dinner, coffee, do whatever. And the older woman listen to him more than a young lady. The young lady don't want to listen. They just want to go shopping and party and do whatever they want to do. And that is what's happening right now.
Yeah. I've met someone that was quite older than myself. I believe I explained it last time. And, you know, her mindset is different. She's 50, but she's a much younger woman. I mean, she's 50, but her mentality is much younger, and I was able to see that. And again, the mental connection has to be there. You know, whether you're, you know, again, 30 or 40 or 50, it has to be there. Then once you establish a connection, then the rest is history. You know?
And that's why we're going to talk about the five stages, because when you're dating, there are different stages that we go through. When things are appropriate to kind of address, and when they're not appropriate, when you're trying to attract somebody into your life. The questions that women tend to have, and we're not going to go through all of them, but tend to revolve on the issue of, how do I secure a loving, lasting relationship? Honestly, that's what women are looking for in general terms. And this is not all women, this is not all men how we think. However, in general terms, this is John Gray is a PhD. He's done many books. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and this is just men are from Mars, women are from Venus in regards to dating. He's a very well-known author and a very intelligent man. So. Now let's move on to what the men ask. Just take a peek at some of those questions of what you'd like to address to us.
Let me see here. Let's see. Okay, it's a good one. How do I know if she is the one? Tell me. If I'm talking to a woman and she appears to be highly attractive and chemistry sets in, we're having a great conversation, you know, I know the basics already, you know, and I see kind of what I'm looking for. But from a woman's perspective, you know, how can you tell me if she's the one?
Do you want to answer that, or do?
Or you just meet her?
Yes.
Let's say you've gone out 2 or 3 times. Let's say, you know, there's
You
a
have to
connection.
go out 2 or 3 times.
Exactly.
You can't just meet someone.
Well,
and
it
say,
could be the first
you
date.
never know.
We're not talking about the
It doesn't
first date.
happen.
We're talking about, like, you've been
Yeah,
out 2 or 3
first
times.
date, or maybe, you know, 2 conversations, and you took her out, you know, and you treated her, you know, her fairly well, and she sees you being genuine, and she sees that chivalry does exist within you. So what can you infer from that? How do you know that she's the one?
Well, like I tell you, I don't date.
Okay.
I just take it easy. But when the person come to me, I know it's the right person because I've been waiting. I'm not looking. like Dr. DT said, my tank is full, so nobody need to come and fill my tank. You understand? So I just waiting for the person to come. That's why I never look for no one. I wait then look for me. You understand? So when they come to me and start talking to me, I ask them question about their family, because that is the basic, more important for a person communicating with another human being, because you have to check their background, where they're coming from. Because sometimes you marry the person because they look pretty outside, but the inside, they could be, my goodness. It could be a monster just dressed with a black suit. So we have to be careful in that. So when I meet somebody, are you have time to have a coffee session? Why not? We have a coffee, we talk and everything, and then inside me now, very interesting conversation, you know. And then ask me for my phone number, I give it to him. So in a couple days, he called me, don't know, but he just have to continue calling you on and talking to you to have a good conversation. And sometimes when he call on the phone, I say, hello, you okay? Yeah, I'm fantastic, I'm just reading right now. Can I help you with something? He said, oh no, I was just thinking about you. I said, that's very sweet, you know, but right now I will call you back later because I have to finish something I'm doing right now. So you see, you have to be, not always give yourself up like that. You always have to learn to respect yourself like a woman, because if you know what you want, you already have to stay firm.
If I may, most women who's acting like that, they have to be very careful.
Yes.
Men will say they are players. You have to be careful, because it's love is not a game.
Yes.
Love is not a game.
That's why I don't date.
Yeah, I understand that.
I have a comment on that.
Love is not a game. If you approach it, and also if it's a game for you, every game there's rules to follow.
I don't do games.
That's it. That's what I'm saying.
I just don't.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And I'm not saying that, and I'm
I'm
not thinking that's what she's really doing. You're
no, we're talking in
I think
general.
that's important to say though, because there are a lot of books out there that tell the games of men and the games of women. It's like, really?
Because
that's crazy.
Love is not a game.
I agree.
And if you choose to play the game, there's rules you have to follow. Because the other person, on the other hand, has a heart and also has a soul.
Sometimes they don't have a heart.
No, I understand
They
that.
try to trick you.
I understand that.
Not in all cases.
Not all cases. I understand some people, I'm talking in general, they might have bad experience with men has bad experience with women. We have to be careful
That's right.
not to play that game, because every single game there's rules to follow. Because when playing that game, who knows that man who's knocking your door? Who knows that maybe it's Mr. Right God sent your way?
But you can know. You can know, like a woman.
I think what we're talking about too is the dating is about getting to know different people so that you can pick the right person for you. We shouldn't be afraid.
We should not play
We have to have an open heart.
Yes.
And you can't, if you come with a wall, you're going to get another wall.
Yes.
So you have to open your heart to just really want to get to know another person.
Yeah,
really, to me, that's what it's about.
Yes.
And I'd like to hear the doctor's thoughts on this as well. And
She's
then I had
been
something
very
else to say.
quiet tonight.
But she's
I don't wanna
thinking.
interject too
She's
much.
thinking.
No, come on, Lana. Be very careful.
So the
You're going to
question
make me
was-
say something.
Let's get the question again, just in case anybody is listening. We'd love you to also call in at 561-660-7653. The question was,
How do I know if she's the one?
how do I know if she's the one?
Believe me, it does take time, and dating is fun. Dating is good. It's an opportunity that you get to learn the other person, know another person, know who they are, what they're all about. You learn so much during dating, and it's so much fun because you can get to go places, do things, because you've noticed some of those dating shows, the ones where they choose the different dates, and they might go on a date where They might go to a park or they might go riding. Just to get to
It's
know
fun.
the kind of person that you're dealing with. So if you're not the beach kind of person, then you realize, well, this person is, because then if you hate to go to the beach, sand in my feet or all these different things, you know, dating is fun, but it does take time. Because I've heard of couples who sometimes it could be even 10 years later, then they realize something about the relationship and realize that they're still learning. So how do you know she's the one? Like you said, sometimes it can be spontaneous. Sometimes you can know right away based on certain things, you know,
What
vibes that the person
yes.
gives you. But it does take time.
Take time.
Because you can come together and then years later you realize, oh my goodness, it was the wrong one. What do you do?
That's right.
It just
And sometimes it not to be a year later, it could be a month later.
right. But it does take time, and you have to ask the right questions.
Yes.
You have to not be afraid. You got to be open. Can't play games, but you have to use your instincts also. So it's a lot of elements that's involved with trying to figure that right one, because that could be a certain connotation.
Yes.
Because there's no such thing
Yes.
about the right one too, because
Yes.
it's learning about, because there's gonna be some bad sides
And
to
good
another
sides.
person and good sides to another person, but then there's gonna be that mutual ground
Yes.
that draws you to that person, that keeps the fire burning.
It's just like a job.
So see, we're all trying to get to the same place, but I've got a feeling I probably won't get hired. Anyway, what I wanted to say to Dr. Love was, in regards to this question, this person would be able to know me spiritually, or get to know me spiritually. They would get to know me emotionally, and they would feel a closeness when we communicate. There would be commonality to who we are as people. And you know, in most cases, you know, when you're communicating with somebody and have you ever met somebody, you say, I feel like I've known you forever. That's kind of when you know
Yes.
there's a connection.
Yes.
Because if you can communicate, you're going to get through just about everything. Now, that doesn't mean that 2 weeks down the road, something happens and, you know, it could change that person. But there's got to be a connection emotionally, spiritually, and there's got to be good communication that you both feel
Chemistry.
really comfortable.
chemistry.
Chemistry.
Good.
And there's no right or
I was
wrong here.
thinking
It's
about
just,
that, yeah.
it's just, I don't know, I hate to use this word because, you know, I'm thinking, well, you could be my soulmate possibly. And I don't know if men even understand what I'm saying, but there's a connection.
Be
What we're
very
trying to
careful.
say is there's a connection that you want to see that person again, and that you have lots to talk about with them, and you kind of never want the evenings to end.
That's
You know what I
right.
mean?
That is a
It's a
chemical
feeling. It's a,
attraction.
yeah.
Yep, and
Yes.
and that's what it is. You know, again, when it comes to that, you have to, you know, once again, first see what it is you're looking for. For example, myself, when it comes to a woman, even if you're older than me, I tell you what I'm looking for. I'm very straightforward. Not in a bad way, just that I know what I want.
understand.
Exactly
He's
what I
looking
want.
for older women.
Well, I mean,
Look at
the
you.
experience has to match too. You know what I mean?
Tell right
He's
away.
not as looking for older women.
No, but he,
Well, all the
but
more
Sure.
come to
But
him.
sure.
More mature
woman.
women.
Of course. And you know, the thing is, when you're trying to find what you want, then that's when you know, there has to be some kind of common ground, some chemistry, and then based on what she's telling you, whatever her rebuttal might be, that's when you could start to see, hey, you know what? Is she right for me? Does she go to church? You know, is she ambitious? Does she want kids? Does she value time? How important is communication? Can you just say anything, or do you shoot from the hip?
But if the woman is old, how can she have kids?
I don't think that her age might define it, depending on how old she might be, because some women can have kids if you're 38 or 40. Some women are single and they're waiting for the right guy. And the thing is, it's good. It's good to wait, but here's the thing: it's also good to wait, but put yourself out there at the same time. It's not an act of desperation. It's just saying that you're looking for love. Your love tank is full. You're not on E as if you're in your car. So your love tank is full. You're looking for love, but you're not giving your love to anybody because not everyone has the right to have your love. It takes that special person. Now, when it comes to you waiting, don't just, sometimes if a man sees what he's looking for, you'll be the right catch for him. You're not for everybody.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
when it comes to you waiting, you can wait. But you know what? If a man catches your eye, don't be afraid to bite.
No, believe
You know?
me. If my eye catches it, man, believe me, our eyes going to roll.
There you go. I like it.
I
like
know
it.
when the man
There,
catches my eyes, I already
exactly,
know.
because you can't resist
Yes,
that.
it's because
You know?
that
That's
chemistry
Exactly,
between us.
and another thing is Charlie Wilson. I don't know if you know who he is, but he says that love is good for your health. It is good for your health.
That's very healthy.
Once you find the right person for yourself,
Yes.
your love tank is full. You find the right
It'll
person.
make you run over.
That's it. Like
Well,
you
I
can't
have
stop.
to tell you, Mr. DT is being very comfortable. He's comfortable over there.
I can see that
Can
thing.
you see it
I
over there?
can see.
There, I just want you to choose another question here that we might address, and then I need that back. But another question that that you want to ask us women.
Okay.
It's not interview.
Why do
Not a
women ask so many
Great
questions?
questions.
Why?
Do you have any baby mamas?
A lot.
They don't want any surprises.
Yeah, that's true.
And then the
Oh,
man said
yeah,
he lied.
that's
He
true.
said no.
I could tell
Why
you.
do women
something
ask so
about
many questions?
I could tell you myself, I'm not a woman. Literally.
Hey, this is not you, Dr.
I
Love.
know. I won't say anything.
Why do women ask so many questions?
You didn't want to comment?
No, go ahead.
No, hold on. Hold on. I like the doctor to answer that.
Are you referring to like when we?
Good evening, welcome.
Hi, good evening. I wanted to try and answer the question on why do women ask so many questions.
Yeah.
Who's calling?
This is Danielle. How are you?
Hi, Danielle.
Hey, Danielle, how are
Thank
you?
you for calling in.
Yes, Danielle, I like to know this. Why do women ask so many questions? And sometimes the questions are so crazy.
I love it.
Go ahead, Dan.
That's true. I feel that I know for me personally, and I can't speak for everybody, but for me, I feel like women maybe be a little bit more organized, so we need more details. We are very detail specific, and I feel like, for example, my husband goes to church and he finds out someone's pregnant. I want to know, are they having a boy or a girl? Did they know? How far along are they? I will ask.
It's the truth, though, Danielle.
I think it's because that maybe women just need more specific, more details, and then it's very typical that they don't need that to feel like the question's already been answered. So I will go ask somebody a question, and I will probably need about 5 other details, whereas my husband's good with, one answer, and he's okay with that. But I'm always going to ask follow-up questions, and probably multiple ones.
And how does he react usually when you ask the multiple questions? Does he start like twitching on you or what? What happens?
He usually looks at at me and goes, no, I didn't ask that. And of course I'm like, well, why didn't you ask that?
There you go. See what I mean?
Not interested.
Well, that's a good one. Now, what about when you're dating? Do you think that you ask as many questions when you were dating, or do you think that this is an experience just from being a woman and...
I think that in general, being a woman, we have a tendency to ask way more questions. And you know what, Claude? I don't know why that is. I don't know if maybe we've taught, I know for me, I've been taught that I have to kind of explain myself or maybe justify myself a little bit more throughout my life, whether that's either growing up or because I'm a woman in specific situations. And honestly, I used to work in an industry that was very male dominant, so I was used to kind of having answers to multiple questions because I was constantly asked them. So for me, I want to get that same amount of detail from other people.
Do you think it's hard sometimes to go from the work environment to like in personal, as you said, yes, personal relationship? Sometimes we carry over work into relationships, and is that, you think, something that can hurt a relationship?
Absolutely. I think there are definitely professions that when you are at work, you can leave work at work, but there are other professions where you can't. And I think that would weigh heavy on any kind of relationship. Absolutely, without a doubt. Absolutely. Especially if that person is burdened, or you find like a lot of, anyone who has someone else's, life in their hands, that's always a weighty subject. Social workers, they're dealing with a lot more than what you see. They can't just leave work at work. So I think that would weigh heavy on a relationship, and finding that person that would fulfill that for you and not bear the burden for you, but help you, just help you kind of move along so that you're better able to deal with what you need to deal with. And if not, they will feel the stress, they will feel the anxiety if you don't know how to handle, that correctly.
Right. Dr. Love may have some questions here.
Hey Danielle, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Very good, very good. I have a question. Do you think that the additional reason why women, or why some women may ask a lot of questions, is for stability and to secure who they're talking to because of maybe prior experiences from their relationships?
I would say, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if I was going on a date with somebody, I would ask a lot of questions because and I want to kind of defend you, because any date is kind of an interview when you're looking at that other person. Are they stable? Is it secure? I kind of want to know those, especially if it's a first date. You're going to ask maybe more probative questions, things that kind of make that person come out of their shell a little bit. So yeah, absolutely. I want to know where I stand with that person, because if I ask a question and they get offended to that question, I know that, oh, okay, maybe that's a sensitive subject, and or eventually I'm going to want to know why they responded to that particular question in a certain way.
I was going to say, maybe I'm the type of person that doesn't ask as many questions. I think that I, as a person, like to get to know people on a more personal level, and that's just me.
Me too.
It could be that there are differences even in women. How we process information. There definitely are questions that are appropriate at a certain time, but if I'm going to go on a few dates with you, I need to know that there's going to be a personal connection. At least that's for me. Right. I'll speak for just myself. I want to know that this person is a caring person, most above all things, in my own head. That's what I'm trying to find out. Is it worth it to go to the next level, to at least go on the date or a couple dates? By, them asking questions of me. Are they trying to get to know me, or are they just trying to put a show on, is what I'm trying to figure out.
Right, and I think there are ways to ask questions like, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do for fun? Those are still questions to get to know you.
Yes.
And other questions can form.
Which are more on a personal level than, some of the more formal questions we were just talking about.
Yes, I mean, if someone asked my weight, I don't think I would tell them. I would want to know why that was important to them.
What about your age? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, again, I have no problem with saying my age, but, some people do. Sometimes those are really reactive questions, but I guess for me, I would answer that question with a question going, it seems like this is something important to you. Why do you want to know my age? And maybe it would lead to a conversation that allows, I really would like to have kids someday, and, is that on your radar? Well, maybe they just didn't know how to ask that particular question.
I think that's important. You said that because really, there could be something behind why a person is asking a certain question, and that leads to other questions about what does that person want in their life versus what I might be looking for. So that's valid. Now I understand the thought process behind maybe somebody asking that question, but from, just asking a question, what's your age? I just would be like, really? Are you kidding me? Do you need to know that today?
Turn you off in a second.
I'm like out the door because I am sensitive to that.
That's right.
And especially as I get older. And maybe that is because I am getting older that I'm a little bit more sensitive to it. I guess in my own head, I'm just thinking, does this person worry about age or is he really worried about getting to know me? So, again, that's a conversation that just needs, I think I like the way you addressed that. Any other comments?
No, I mean, to bounce off of what you said, I think when it comes to the age question for women, to me, I think it's, because, again, not every woman is the same, and they won't give you the same response back. Different backgrounds and so forth. But specifically speaking, I think that it's the thought process of the woman and how she takes it. Because when you have a conversation with a woman, not to say that, okay, how old are you, is the first question, no. But eventually, you come around to, hey, I didn't get to ask, how old are you? Then they say, hey, you know what, I'm 30, or guess, okay, you look about maybe, I don't know, I'll give you 34. Oh, okay, cool, nice, I'm 32. You know what I mean? And
a little softer.
Right, and I didn't mention tone.
I
didn't mention tone.
We're getting there. It's softer.
Right, but I didn't mention tone.
Guess less.
However,
not how you say
right.
it.
However, it's the thought process of the woman, because not every woman's the same. Every woman has a different background, different men that they've dated, different criteria, expectations, and so on. Some women will freely tell you. Some women. As a matter of fact, I had a woman, she literally interrogated me. And you know what? I was fine with that.
About what? Your age?
No, just questions in general. Because I think she works for law enforcement, but even if she works for law enforcement or not, I'd be fine with that. Because I'm a man, I know who I am, and I have nothing to lie from that day moving forward. Because it's all about the thought process of the person. And if you're uncomfortable with that, you might have had bad experiences prior to the person that you're talking to.
No, not necessarily, because if I was dealing with a law enforcement person asking all those questions, they may not be the right person for me if they're going to interrogate me. Because that is
not so much like that.
If we're starting out that way.
This is the kind of woman who run your license plate.
Oh God!
Well, she didn't do
How
that.
many tickets do you have? Okay, are you a felon?
You don't want to
I run myself, but guess what?
She was a kind of woman where, I guess it came off in a nice way, but I was receptive to it.
Sure.
I found out how old she was and how old I was too, and kind of find out, she hasn't had good men that have came into her life.
See that?
You know,
That's
and I'm
So you
32.
can tell. You
Right,
can
right. I
That's the
can
way
tell
she is.
because
Yeah.
she specifically asked me certain questions. She's like, "Oh, I'm going to ask you certain questions, and I don't want you to be uncomfortable." I'm like,
Interview.
I'm not. I'm
This
a
was
man.
a potential date you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
Very attractive, you know, a woman, and she was very nice, very beautiful, same ethnicity, and she gave me I guess a disclaimer first, but it wasn't like I was in the interview, but you know, again, I'm a man. I took it well, and I answered all her questions, and nothing was.
Did you ask her
uncomfortable.
out again?
I did, but what she said and what she did, it didn't line up as far as the communication. Because again, communication and time, they're key in a relationship. It's key. It can't be the other way around. Because when a woman gives you her time, it's saying that she's interested in you. What you're giving her, she's interested in you. And as the host said, what tickles your heart? Because if you're saying something, obviously she wants more. It's like Steve Harvey mentioned in the book.
Oh, don't talk about
It's
Steve
the
Harvey
cookie.
to me.
A man
Steve
wants
Harvey.
the cookie.
I love him, but
Right, but it's the same thing.
Say it again. A man want
Steve
what?
Harvey.
A
The
man,
cookie.
it's like saying that a man wants a cookie, but in this case, if you're giving a woman something to want, she's gonna come back for more. You know, vice versa. If a man hears something that catches his interest or piques his interest remotely,
Tickle
he's
his
gonna
heart.
want more. Right? She's gonna want more. You know, so you're gonna continue to give time because again, you can't get time back. Once 24 hours is done, it's done. That's it. You know.
And we're not talking about progress. But we're not talking about perfection. We're talking about progress. Getting
Right.
to the next
It all
place.
adds up.
And you're not looking for perfection, are
No,
you? Okay.
I don't want perfection. I want your best,
Good.
and I want all of
Good.
it.
That's what's important.
Yes.
That's what's important.
Dr. Love.
Yes.
Doctor de Amor. Sometimes you don't have to be. You have to go date with someone. Sometimes, just attracted to the personality of the person, how they are, and the way they act. And sometimes it's just a word what they come out from the phone and talk to you. So,
Yeah.
oh, that's sweet. You understand? And sometimes even the person writing to you.
Yeah.
And it move you too, because everything comes from the heart.
Yes, it does.
You understand? Because
Yes, it does.
we were talking about that, the heart to the mind.
Yes.
You understand? It's not by the outside into the heart.
Yes.
It's by the heart into the mind.
Absolutely.
So this person could be kind, writing a nice word. Oh, you're so sweet. I like the way you smile. I see your picture. You're beautiful.
Yes,
And you
yes.
say, wow, it's very sweet. So you get attracted what he's saying. You don't see him, but you get attracted.
Yes.
You understand? And sometimes you see the person and you say, wow, he's very attractive. That don't mean I'm going to go out with him for a date. He just impressed me the way that person
Right.
look.
Right.
You understand? But if a person come to me and question me too much, I say, I don't have time for that. You know why? Because I don't question people. I just watch them.
But it has a lot to do with personalities
Yes.
too, because you can see differences,
True.
like you were saying, how differences in culture and how
Even in our
people
genders.
and even
Yeah.
in the genders and how people respond. Because some people, I was just watching a movie too, actually, with this couple that they were dating, and the woman had a book of all these questions, and he eventually said, "No more questions." Like, do you believe in God? Do you want children?
Oh
All
my
these
gosh.
things. So
Yeah.
just like,
Yes.
it just brings the point that, but she was doing it to get to know him more, but he thought about it like, oh my goodness, I don't want to hear another
This
question.
is too much work for me.
Just get out
I
of a
think what how she was
relationship.
saying it,
Yeah.
even though it was a movie.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
it
she
seemed
just get
interesting
out
to
of a
me that she was
relationship
trying
and
to
she don't
find
wanna
out
get
more
into that.
about him, but it just shows
The
you
wrong way.
the personality
Yes.
difference, because that's not how he wanted to, have that
Yes.
that rapport where they learn about each other by questioning
Right.
and always. But like he was saying, he took whatever the other person, this cop that was questioning, he took it in a good way because he maybe found that attractive about her, that she was curious and she wanted to get to know him more and
point.
know more about him, and that this is the kind of person that is not going to take any regular person. So just depends on the personality.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is that good question?
Well, in general, women are looking to find out if a relationship's going to work, but in general, men are looking for, they're focusing their questions more on, is the relationship going to be successful? That's what they're more focused on. Is it going to, and that makes sense with what some of the things you're saying.
Yeah.
It's now making sense, a little bit more sense to me. Although men and women's questions reflect different orientations towards dating, they do have two things in common. Men and women want their relationships to be loving, and two, neither one of them really understand each other. Neither one of them really understand each other. So we're still working on, learning
what love is,
and what really love
Yeah.
is. And you know what? Again, that has a lot to do with how we were brought up and how we were taught love. And sometimes you can't change that. It takes, a lifetime to really love somebody unconditionally. And I'm going to go back to the Bible just because the Bible is really where the heart is, and Jesus is all about love. And he loves us unconditionally, and what he wants us to do when you are finally with the partner that you marry is it's really about serving the other person. I know women don't want to hear that, but men and women need to hear that, because it's all about me serving my spouse, them serving me, and us coming together. What can I do to make your life easier? And what can he do to make my life easier? And yeah, we're going to have bad days. And I think we talked about this before. There's going to be an 80-50 day, and there's going to be a 50-80 day. There's no perfection here. But there is one thing that is the foundation to a good relationship, and that is the love and the respect that is in a relationship. Any other comments before we move on to the 5 stages?
You have to surrender to each other. It's
I love
not
that.
about. It's
I
not
love that.
Yeah, because you hear about, the woman is supposed to surrender to the man. The woman is supposed to. The man is supposed to be in charge, and people have a lot of that ideology that the man is in control and the woman is supposed to be subservient, but. It's surrendering to each other, because it makes the relationship so much sweeter that way.
I love that.
I agree with her too. You have to be willing to not just submit, but really understand, one another's hearts. If you, that's what it comes down to. It's is it work? Yes, it is.
It's work.
Nothing's not easy.
Everything is their heart.
Yeah, because when you're in a relationship with somebody and you want to be with them for a lifetime, the only way is through communicate. Well, excuse me, God, family, then work. God, family, then work. And then as long as you communicate, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Just like you digest a beverage or water, you can digest words too. If you don't do that the right way, words can hurt if you let them. So you can't circumvent love. Like, you can't do that. You can't circumvent love. You can't shoot straight with your partner, because you know what? It's a recipe for disaster. It's going to turn into a disastrous relationship. And then you're going to seek counsel, and you're going to need repair, because what's going to happen is you guys didn't fix your construction. Now you start your under construction process. And the thing about that is, now you're fixing what should have been established from the initial phase. So you have to put some work in, and it's not going to be no straight line to a successful relationship. And that's what really needs to happen.
So, Dr. Lowe, you're talking about that somebody marry somebody, your tank is full, and you marry somebody, tank is empty. So you're saying they're going to have affliction in that marriage, because that person will have a lot of garbage coming into this marriage when this person don't have no garbage at all. but this person coming with everything, so he want to come and trade over this person, and this person realize this is not the person like I supposed to be married. Because one thing it pretend, that's what I tell you, men pretend sometimes.
Some men.
Well, some men,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they pretend sometime who they are
Mhm.
because they start dating you and liking you, and they want to pretend that they really care for you and loving for you and everything. But the minute when you get married now, the next day they treat you like you are a garbage person.
Maybe he doesn't know what he really wants, because if a man has to pretend to be something that he's not, I don't think he clearly knows what he wants, or let alone know himself. Because I'll use myself. I'm not here to pretend.
Yes.
If I know it, when it comes to a woman, I guarantee you, I won't waste your time. I won't waste your time. If you're someone where you have to pretend to me, you have to pretend with me, not with me, because I won't do it with you. I had a conversation with a woman. She told me that she had her own place. I have my own place too. She was telling me how her place was so elaborative and so so decorative and what have you. And I said, mine is simple. She was like, oh. The moment I got that tone, so I'm like, I have a simple life. If you have a complex life, that's fine. But my life is simple, and that's how I like it. So the moment I got that tone, the conversation, it shifted. So I might be for you, but I might not be for you. Two different things. I might be for you. It's like having a BMW, but you can't make the payment.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing. So whatever you have before me, don't come to me because I might not be for you. You have to fix yourself if you're under construction. It's the same thing. But if you don't know yourself, fix yourself. Or if someone's telling you that you need help, you need help. No one's perfect. That's what it is.
But sometimes they don't want to admit it, they need help. Because they think they're more superior on whatever you're telling them, that usually one is not right.
It's probably them being prideful.
Yes, prideful.
Pride gets in the way sometimes, and I had to learn from a friend of mine that it's very important, whether man or woman, to be humble. Humility takes you far. Humility takes you far. When you're willing to be receptive to somebody else that knows more, that has seen more, it's best to just be quiet.
Yes.
Because you never know what you can learn from them. Even though you think you know a lot, it's better to just be quiet and hush, because you never know what you can learn, and what you can learn can take you far more or farther than what you didn't know before you met the person.
But you don't want women to see you that smart, mature, and educated man, and you know a lot of things, and throw it out there like, you don't want women to see you that way. Or because some women get turned off if they're like, oh, he's too puny or something,
Okay. Why a man should devalue himself to make a woman comfortable?
No, they should never do that.
That's what I'm saying.
Never.
The man should never,
point.
never devalue himself.
No.
If that woman is not equipped
to handle, that's not
to
the right
handle
woman.
a intelligent man, no man, I'm saying that men and women should never devalue themselves, because it's not being honest with yourself, and at the same time you set up yourself for a big F, because when you devalue yourself, that means that you compromise the wrong way, and at the same time you don't do your homework. Because if you do, there's two different things. When you do your homework, you pass the exam.
Yes, you do.
But
If you
some
fail,
men, I think, overcompensate. They act like they have it all together, and then when
Then
everything's
find it
all
empty.
said and done, then you realize
but that's what he's saying, that you have to do your homework.
Yes.
Find
You
out
don't
more.
jump,
Yeah.
okay? You spend time to get, like you said, like Mother Nature said, you need to spend
Mother
time to get to know each other. Because after you say I do, that's it.
Lifetime commitment.
Okay? Remember, love is a journey.
I would like to say, I think the second time around, I'll be more intelligent. I loved my husband, and I was married for 34 years, but I will tell you that at 20, or 19, 20, 21 years old, my mentality was a whole lot different than who I am today.
Wisdom.
And there, exactly, it's called wisdom.
Learned a lot. Wow.
And there were probably signs I never saw. Because you know, when you're young, you're in the moment.
Yes.
You are so in the moment, and you're with friends, and
You believe in Romeo
you believe in
and
so much
Juliet.
more romance. You haven't had a lot of people hurting you, and everything's going to be great. But I will tell you that, you know, my husband was extremely successful, had things in his life, but there were some very deep-rooted issues that he was hiding from, and that wasn't to say he was a bad person. What that means is I was broken because I came from a home that was broken like he had. Okay, so there were underlying things that, did it mean that I was a bad person? Did it mean that he was a bad person? No. What it meant was that we were kind of two broken people that got attracted to each other.
A puzzle.
Yes, we're a puzzle. And then when I got married, I had to figure out, okay, now I've married this person in sickness and in health. You get to really know, I mean, I'm not sure even at the last stage of engagement, you're really going to know the person until you live with them. Because there's so many deep-rooted things that we go through in life that we don't even know. It's sitting in the unconscious mind. It's sitting in the area that you just don't want to address. Subconscious, and it comes out later in life when you get totally comfortable with each other. And that's not to say that those two people didn't love each other to start with. It's just that life happens, stress happens, and it comes during stress usually. You go, wow, I never saw that before. Wow.
I heard someone ask this question. A young lady say, does love really exist? Or nowadays are you with someone because she was she was explaining, saying it's just like a contract. You know what I mean? It's just like a contract.
Let's make a deal.
It's just like a contract. Let's make a deal. You know what I mean? I look at her and say, wow, it's really, I'm not in a place to judge anyone. I'm blessed that God handpicked someone for me. But someone like me, I knew what I want. Because as a matter of fact, when I met her, I told her what I want. I told her what I was looking for. And I even tell her that in certain date, certain time, this is what's going to happen. You know what I mean? So I told her, this is the blueprint, very clearly. And each step of the way, we check certain things that we're supposed to accomplish. You know?
She was on the same page as you, that sounds like.
Yeah. I mean, the whole
And
thing
there was
is,
chemical too.
the whole thing is, I mean, as a man, God called you to be a leader. No, when men say that women doesn't want to submit, women doesn't want to follow, that's not true.
They want to be led.
Women
by a
want to be
positive,
led. You know what I mean?
by a positive
want
influence.
to be led. And when I say that, is not my relationship is perfect, but I choose my battle careful. And at the end, if there's an argument, I have to ask myself if it's worth it. And I say to God, thank God, my wife also, sometimes I get on her nerve. I have to be. Sometimes she get on my nerve. But we have to remember what brought us together in the first place. You know what I mean? What make both of us, we work as a partner. You know what I mean? When I heard that young lady mention that, it broke my heart. Because she never, and I pray and I ask God to bless her, allow her to know what love is. Let her taste love. Because love is not
The
a
contract.
contract.
No.
There's so many women out there, and men too. They're there because they feel like I have to be with someone. I need to be with someone. That's why I keep telling people, you don't have to be with someone. Okay? Because before you can be with someone, you have to learn how to be with yourself. If you cannot be with yourself, if you cannot pass time, spend time with yourself, like me time, you're not ready to spend time with anybody. The same way, if you're not ready to love yourself enough not to let someone abuse you mentally, physically, you're not ready for any relationship.
Right.
And I'm glad what you said. When you go out, when you're gonna date, you ask the woman certain questions. If you watch her body language when she answers that, you know who you're dealing with. Because there's certain thing we call unspoken word, body language. If you ask her her age, she won't start twisting her eyes and her neck and herself will come out. Because you hit a nerve.
Oh yeah, U-turn.
Okay? But even when you hit a nerve, it's you as a leader, as a man, to make sure you don't let her go home upset. Because you don't know what she's been through, you don't know what other men put her through. God put her in your life for a certain reason. So,
I have a question. Before I ask a question, I'm going to make a statement or comment. What you're saying is right because you're not thinking selfishly, okay? But I was watching a video, I think this was like months back, you know, and again, I follow people, and for some women, just like some men, it's not okay to bring your prior baggage into a potential relationship. Because, should never. And some women, just like some men that do that, we're both guilty. Okay? But the thing is, if you can't be with yourself, you know, of course, because I live by myself and I know me. There's more of me to know that I know that somebody else might know. Okay? But my thing is this: if she is, or if you're not trying to get her upset and you're thinking about that, which is, you know, courtesy, why would she put herself in that predicament where even though what you don't intend to say to hurt her hurts her, and she's trying to be with someone like yourself but she's not ready yet? What do you think may determine that? If she sees that, hey, you know what, she's not ready but she wants you, she doesn't know that she's ready, but subconsciously she doesn't know that, but it's like she wants to dabble in this relationship potentially, and as a man you're showing courtesy not to disrespect her or be rude to her, or make sure that she leaves mad. But, you know, again, why would she do that and try to talk with you?
to my humble opinion, I don't believe that she wants you.
Right.
You might have something that she wish to possess.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
It's not you might have something like, for example, remember when you sit down, you're having a conversation with a young female.
Right.
You guys, you guys, you volunteer, release, volunteer, give your energy. Okay, if her tank is kind of half full or empty, you voluntarily, if she finds herself she doesn't have to fight to get your energy, you voluntarily give her the energy that she needs.
That's true.
She will always try to come back. It's not like, that's why we have to be careful, like for you not to translate it, interpret it like she wants you. You may have something that she needs, she wants. It could be the energy, the free energy that you're giving to her. But in reality, that's probably far from her mind that you are attractive or I want you. No, don't ever translate that. That would be a big mistake. Because when you're dealing with women, you have to give her opportunity for her to tell you. Because she will always tell you. If you watch her body language, and also some will say, they just need you as a friend. They just want you as a friend, not you. Because you have something she never experienced before. Some women, they never has what you call the love of a father.
That's very true.
Okay? So the love tank might be completely empty because they never experienced the love of a father. So all the love, some of them they were looking for love as a father, from a father, they end up getting in the wrong place. So she probably see you as someone who's honest. You're not showing her you has not crossed the line to disrespect her. You don't show her that you have interest in her body. You only have an interest in her well-being. That can be very attractive to a woman. And also if she come from a place that is broken, the strong male positive, she didn't get it from her father, and you possess that, that's probably what bring her back.
That's very true.
Okay?
Very true.
How did you get so smart?
Knowledge is power, baby.
Knowledge is power.
There you go.
He's been studying women,
he
I
reads
think.
a lot.
I think he's been studying women.
That's why they call me Mr. DT.
Mr. G.
Discovery Talent. But in the meantime, I like to anybody who has talent out there, you can go to www.discoveryidols.com. When you go, you can send us your video, and also keep in mind there's another one, US Discovery Talent Radio. You can register. When you send your video through that to the radio station, they check it and everything, and that one I will highly recommend you to check these two websites, the radio website www.usdiscoverytalentradio.com, or if you're an artist, you're looking for someone to promote you 24/7 worldwide, and also to play your music on the radio, different radio, you can go to www.discoveryidols.com. If you're a Christian artist, you can go www.usdiscoverytalent.com. Or if you're an artist, a comedian, you need more info, you can call me directly. I'm the general manager. You can call me by 561-541-1878. Go ahead, please.
How much time do we have here, just so that I know?
Oh,
Yeah.
you burned the clock long time
I
ago.
know.
You burned the
I
clock
don't
long
want to
time
burn
ago.
anybody's time up here before we get into the 5 stages, because if it's too late, we can make this the next show.
To me, this is my ministry.
Okay.
And my wife, I'm blessed. That's what I said. God handpicked someone for me.
Okay.
I could never. I could never. I could.
we hurt you.
You know, I could never get away. Listen, I could never get away being this late at the station. If I was the one who pick up my wife, if I was the one who just go ahead and choose my wife, I'll be in big trouble.
makes a difference.
Well, I just want to be
When you let
respectful
God-
of the time involved.
Right.
Yes.
I'm not
When
sure
you-
what
when
to
you let
allow
God-
that. That's it.
When you let God, this is what you say: let God
Let
move,
go. Or
let go, and let
Let
God.
God.
Yeah.
So therefore, I'm blessed,
Yes.
Yes.
and I believe that God is the center in our relationship.
That's right.
So my Elijah is still,
Oh.
you know what I mean?
Fire.
So he's on fire for God. I love him, and I'm blessed.
We can't
I'm a
wait to
blessed
meet
man.
him.
I'm a blessed man.
I can't wait to meet him. When we have our get together, hopefully he can come.
Very soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Who, Elijah?
His wife and Elijah. I'd like to meet both of them. That's his family. How could you not meet the family?
Yes.
So is it appropriate to start into some of the stages, the 5 stages, or should we wait for the next show?
To me, it's up to you, ladies.
How is everyone feeling?
We could do at least 2. I mean, it's up to you guys, but
I just
Ladies
assume
first.
not get into the 5 stages. We can make it for a whole show.
That's right.
That
Yeah.
sounds good. It's
Yeah.
it's a late
Very
night,
interesting.
and we would love to hear from everybody. We'll be back next Thursday to talk about the 5 stages of navigating the 5 stages of dating.
Yes.
Which stage 1 is attraction, stage 2 is uncertainty, stage 3 is exclusivity, stage 4 is intimacy, and stage 5 is engagement. So
By the
please
way,
follow
I
us
believe
next
that
week.
nobody. Can you repeat that in the microphone because
Heard you.
Yes. The 5 stages of dating for next week we're going to talk about is stage
Next
1.
Thursday.
What did I say?
Yeah, you said next Thursday.
Oh, okay.
I like to pick on her.
Oh,
Specific.
I'm getting tired, so I could have said Saturday.
I can sit tonight.
Stage 1 is attraction, stage 2 is uncertainty, stage 3 is exclusivity, stage 4 is intimacy, and stage 5 is engagement.
Yes.
And then you're off to marriage. Done with the dating scene, hopefully forever.
What about stage 7
I'm not sure what that stage is. Would you like to enlighten us?
for the next show? I
Okay.
shall.
All right.
So I think everybody's here is single, right? You single?
No.
So you hear that, ladies out there?
No.
Hear that lady out there? He's
How
single.
are you?
Dr.
You're not
Love
married, but
is
you're not single? What are you?
I'm
Get
with
ready.
somebody.
That's
Oh, but that's that. You're single. You're not married.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
that's
right,
all.
right,
okay.
right,
I'm
right.
like, is there something
No.
in between?
No.
He's engaged.
That is Dr.
Okay,
Love.
engaged.
that's good. That's a
He's
good.
not engaged.
So you're like in the intimacy stage. If you're not engaged, you're probably
No,
here. Maybe 3.
Exclusivity.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to find out where
She's
he
my
is.
girl.
Okay.
We're
Well,
together.
Don't get in
We'll find
trouble.
out.
No.
She's watching the show. Don't get
Yeah.
in
I
trouble.
passed stage 1.
Uh-huh.
He's in between.
I'm in between stage 2 and stage 3.
Oh,
I'm a private kind of person,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Whereas when it comes to my woman,
Mm-hmm.
I give her all of me,
That's awesome.
basically.
That's really awesome.
Hear that,
Very
ladies?
much so.
Wow.
Wow.
It's
Very much
nice to hear a man talk like that.
I know.
You can't find them out there.
I know.
They,
they're there.
No. I
They
didn't
are
say
there.
They are there.
Yeah,
You have to make
Yeah,
yourself
call.
available.
561.
Please call.
You have to make yourself available.
yeah, but you gotta want to do that though.
Yes.
You gotta want to do that.
Yes.
I mean,
Both sides need to.
yeah.
Yes. You have to make yourself available.
Yes.
If you don't make yourself available to be discovered, you will never
Be
be
discovered.
discovered.
So how do you
Just
do
like
that?
an artist, saying,
Yes.
"Oh my God, I have so much talent. I this, but what's your step? What are you doing to be discovered?
Yeah.
Facebook is not going to be. You're not going to be
No.
discovered by using Facebook.
No.
You're not going to be discovered by
Gotta tell
dropping your stuff.
everybody.
By dropping your
There's
stuff.
more than one platform.
You're not going to be discovered by dropping your stuff on YouTube. No. In order for you to be discovered, first of all, you have to have an agency that pushing you.
Represent.
Secondly, you need to have a booking agent. Third, you need to have a manager. Fourth, you need to have an entertainment law firm standing behind you.
Yes.
If you're an artist, if you don't, I mean, you can get away with, but let me tell you the essential you have to have. Number one, you need to have an agency. The first one you need to have to promote you. When you get to a level, any manager will pick you up. Then when the manager pick you up, it's the manager's job to find you a booking agent and entertainment law firm. This agency can help you with three. B, they can be your agency to push you, to promote you, to coach you, and get you the entertainment law firm. And the agency will work together with the entertainment law firm and your manager, which they can help you to package you as an artist. At that time, after you've been packaged, then you can look for a booking agent. The entertainment law firm will find you a booking agent. If you don't have the agency, that's the first one you need to have, an agency, to start coaching you before you even try to get entertainment law firm. No entertainment law firm is going to look at you if you don't have an agency behind you. Because you go to entertainment law firm, they're going to not even look at you. Okay? The agency will package you. That's the time you're going to look for entertainment law firm and also booking agent. Manager, the manager job is to manage you. Okay? If you don't have that, you want to be artist.
Just like dating.
I need an agency.
You're still fishing.
Anyway,
I need an agent for dating.
There are agencies out
I
there.
like
You
the men
can
who try.
sign up.
Anyway.
That is me.
Good luck.
anyway, this is the agency. The name of the company is U.S. International Discovery Band and Artists. The website is discoveryidols.com. Now, Discovery Idols, to help the underdog, they build that radio station to play their music 24/7 worldwide. And again, if they have any question, they can call me. I'm the general manager, 561-541-1878. If they're looking for entertainment law firm, they can call 561-478-9930. If you're in Miami, you can call 305-379-7676. So we have a full package for anyone who believe that they can perform. Like I told everyone, don't tell me what you have. Show me what you can do. God bless.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Until next time.
You need to have a package about dating.
Book it.
Book it.
Yeah.
Come on, they're waiting for me in Paris. I gotta be there.
The show was incredible.
Are we still on or?